What's going on, all my beautiful people? Today, I'm making some New York strips, but I'm gonna smother them. First off, I got some beautiful steaks from Piggly Wiggly. You in Carolina, you know about Piggly Wiggly. Gotta wash that meat now. Make sure you wash your meat. You know what I'm saying? Get a nice little wash on it, rinse it off real good. You know what I'm saying? I ain't show you just how much detail I put in the meat. I give it a couple of rinses. I let it sit in some vinegar and water for a minute. You know what I'm saying? And I come back. I ain't gonna show all that. Let me get down to business. Damp it off, you know what I'm saying? And we're gonna get ready to season it, you know what I'm saying? Make sure that cutting board clean, make sure everything right. And I like to play with seasoning. So I'm gonna do a lot of different mixes. So y'all gotta watch it just going kind of fast. But I like to play with a bunch of different seasons because I want to make sure you got a bunch of different tastes and different flavors. You know what I'm saying? And make sure you invest in extra virgin olive oil because I don't cook without that. You know what I'm saying? It helps the seasoning stick. It helps anything else you add to it, and it gives a flavor to the meat as well. So you got to make sure you and don't forget about the A1. I forgot about, a lot of people use it after the fact, but I like to put it on in the process of seasoning. And y'all see I'm seasoning this thing on both sides. You know what I'm saying? I had 6 very big steaks, so I'm only showing like 3, and y'all know how the rest gonna be. But keep following me and keep looking at the season. Y'all know you can't get enough onion powder. Onion powder, garlic powder, can't really get enough, so you gotta make sure you keep that on it. You know what I'm saying? That garlic powder, onion powder. You know what I'm saying? Look at that. Y'all look at it now. Make sure y'all don't go to nobody's house and they halfway seasoning their food. Because that ain't your boy. When I go season it, I'm seasoning it. And like I said, with that A1, y'all see what's going on. Rub that thing in there good. Both sides. You know what I'm saying? Get your pan heat up. And again, extra virgin olive oil. Make sure y'all got that. Get it hot, but not too hot. It ain't like canola oil, not like that. It don't burn. It'll burn, but you don't want to. You can kind of hear it go off the air when it's kind of hot, and you set those steaks on there. And what I like to do is for people who like they meat tender and well done, not bloody meat, the medium. You know what I'm saying? So I pan sear mine first. I like to get a nice pan sear on there. As you can see, you get it like a dark pan sear. Like I say, this is for the people who like they meat tender. Tender, I would say falling off the bone, but the New York strip don't have no bone in it. And you can see I got that beautiful seasoning. I got that thing sizzling. You see all that? You can look at that seasoning. Make sure you zoom in if you got a chance. Zoom in. And I wish y'all could smell this. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not a big meat eater, so this is really for my family, just to try something, not your traditional Sunday dinner. So I'm saying I do smothered New York strip, and I got some potatoes brewing, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just letting y'all check out the steak and see how I'm preparing it, because it's going to go in the oven. I like to get a nice pan sear on both sides, and then I place it in the oven, you know what I'm saying? I let it cook maybe 20, 30 minutes. You want to check it, because I make the gravy separate, and like I said, I do everything with a bunch of different seasonings. So make sure you go in the store, you try different seasoning on your steak. Just try different things. Like, you don't want stuff that gonna make it too salty, and you don't want it bland. Because like I said, you can do the onion powder, something you really can't use too much of. And if you like garlic, you can use a lot of garlic, raw garlic, or the powder. And you see that's the first flip. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna flip it a couple of times before we set it in the pan. And I'm doing like 2 at a time. Like I said, I had 6 pretty good steaks. Now you gotta do your onion and your bell pepper. And also keep your eye on that steak. You gotta multitask. Make sure you multitask it. You know what I'm saying? I'm messing with the steak. I'm cutting out. Hey, I'm all over the place. But that's what a cook do. Make sure you clean up your space. If you cooking and you ain't cleaning up your space, then you ain't a real cook. You know what I'm saying? You just a cat on these stunting. And look at that brown on that steak, man. You know what I'm saying? You want to get it to your liking. You know what I'm saying? And keep what you consider to be the burn on the bottom. You keep that, because that's that flavor. You see the onions and the bell peppers after I done cut them. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to caramelize it somewhat. And see, I kept that flavor from that steak in there. Make sure you keep that in there, and you add some more of that extra virgin olive oil, because y'all know I got to season with that. I don't like to use a lot of butter, but I also, like I said, when I season everything, I season everything. I put garlic powder on my onions and some all-purpose kinders, you know what I'm saying? And I got that flavor from that steak in there. When I say I'm seasoning everything, I'm seasoning everything. And also, I don't know about you, But a lot of times I like to use teriyaki sauce. You know what I'm saying? If y'all saw that, just a little bit. You don't want to have it too much, but you want every individual thing that you add into this dish to have its own flavor, because you got the flavor from the steak. And I did 2 of them at a time. I just want to show y'all in the video how to do it, because you might not have that much people in your house. It just might be you and one person. Then we're going to take that same seasoning, we're going to do the bell peppers the same way, but we're going to use different seasoning on the bell peppers. Well, somewhat a different seasoning, but you got to keep cleaning your stove. You don't want nothing to catch on fire, and you don't want them too tender before you add them in. You just put them in there lightly. You know, you want lightly with a little crunch to them, because you got to remember, when you put it in the oven, it's going to cook it off a little more. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want it too crunchy, and you don't want it too soft. If I'm making sense, you know what I'm saying? You want it like in between. And this going to sit to the side. Well, I got 2 steaks sitting there, so I set it on top of that, and then we going to go from there. And you know, I got to put that flip on it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, you ain't a real chef if you ain't flipping, and y'all look at that thing real good. You know what I'm saying? That's what it looks like sitting on just 2 steaks. I know that's a lot of onions and bell peppers. Remember what I said? I got 6 steaks. So I'm going to have 6 steaks inside this pan. But I'm also cooking onions and bell peppers. And I got some green beans. But I got the green beans. I cheated with that. I just got some store-bought canned green beans. But I always like to add meat to that. So I guess I add that to the video as well. But look at how that steak looks with the bell pepper on top of them. If you could smell this right now, if you are a meat lover, if you're a person who like your meat cooked, man, I'm telling you, ain't nobody rocking with me in the kitchen. Ain't nobody ever with me in the kitchen. I've been doing this a long time, and it's like there's something I was taught to do by my aunts and my grandmothers, because they kept me in the kitchen. I was just watching. So a lot of stuff, you didn't see me call out any measurements. Everything is more to the eye. But look how beautiful and sexy that looks with that steak and those bell peppers. And that's some sexy stuff going on right there, man. You know what I'm saying? That's real super duper sexy. So when you're cooking your food, you want it to be sexy like this right here. And I don't know, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to keep y'all too long on this, but we going to keep it moving. Remember what I told you now. Always keep that sexy meat sauce, or whatever you want to call it, off of the steak. And I put it, you know, that's margarine. I don't really use butter. I use some margarine in there. You know what I'm saying? With more onions, yeah, because I'm making the gravy right now. Y'all know what I say about, let's just try a different thing. I think it was a garlic and herb. And I always, like, anytime I'm using onions, I'm seasoning with garlic powder, a little butter, and just let that cook down. Somewhat caramelize. Always clean the stove. Always clean up behind yourself, man. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you clean up behind yourself. If you ain't cleaning, then you ain't no chefing. You know what I'm saying? You just a cat in the kitchen, standing by the pots. You know what I'm saying? And hit it with a little more of that teriyaki, just a little bit, just a smidgen. You know what I'm saying? Let that thing dance around in there. Y'all see them sexy onions. Let that butter, set that to the side, man. And we gonna get back to business. Now that's 6 steaks in here right now. Man, I really had to squeeze them in the pan. And remember I told y'all about the potatoes? I got them out the oven. You know what I'm saying? They're looking real sexy. You know what I'm saying? But they ain't finished yet. It's all about the presentation. Now I'm boiling that water. I used to, chicken bouillon, because this is part of the gravy. So you gotta watch it. I'm doing this pretty fast. But those for those onions we got set aside, we're gonna make the gravy off that. We ain't gonna make nothing. You will see it get darker when we keeping some of the savory flavor from the steaks, the last steaks that I did. There you go. Let that thing cook down, the cubes cook down in that boiling water. That's like 4 cups of water and 2 cubes of bouillon, chicken bouillon. And I think steak and the chicken, like a chicken broth, always give it like a different flavor. Because I know people are like, well, why you didn't use beef broth? And I told y'all see me, and I do a little onion soup thing I had in a tuna. I like to play with them flavors, man. You know what I'm saying? I know you said that's a lot of onions, but I'm telling you, when I tell you the flavors that's going on in this dish, it's just crazy, man. That's just the gravy right here. I didn't use no roux. I didn't make no roux. Y'all gonna see it's gonna thicken on its own because I got that flavor from the thing down in the chicken bouillon cubes and sorry, the cubes. Now I gotta, and I told y'all about the green beans. I gotta add that meat. So I got a little smoked sausage, dice them up. You know, I always gotta add meat. And then those green beans I think it was made by Hanover. I think it's Hanover. The canned green beans that come with potatoes. Yes, more potatoes. But I'm making them lemon pepper. You know what I'm saying? And I like to, there again, extra virgin olive oil. I make everything with that. And with the sausage, you gotta make sure you want that pan to get nice and hot, just like with the steak. You know what I'm saying? Get you some no stick ware if you can. And mine ain't really no stick, but it's doing what it gotta do. But you want to season everything. You see those cubes that I cut up of the sausage? Now you want to season that sausage. Y'all know how I go with seasoning food. Everything gotta have a different flavor. I'm making lemon pepper green beans. Now the sausage itself is going to have a hickory brown sugar taste to it. I know you say, well, that's a lot of different flavors, but when I tell you, I like to play with different flavors. And that's the apple with smoke. And I got that out of Sam's. So I'm not overdoing it, and I always got to have the garlic powder. Garlic powder, onion powder, you can miss. You know what I'm saying? And you want to brown it or get it a little dark, you know what I'm saying, whatever. Then you're going to add this to your green beans and let it cook off, man. Cause see, I got this thing where you can sit down and watch it. I'm trying to think how long this video was. This video is probably gonna be about 20 minutes. You know, I pretty much sped it up, but I maybe did this maybe hours of change with the steaks, but no, maybe 2 hours. I might be exaggerating that because I really don't look at time. But you know, I gotta be somewhere. I gotta be on the gig, so I'm trying to make sure I cook this for the family. I might not even be here to enjoy it, but like I said with the green beans, I like to add meat to a lot of dishes, you know. So this is Sunday. It's not your traditional Sunday dinner, but you gotta try new things. If you follow me, y'all know what I'm about. Trying new things. That's Fat Boy Mega Bucks right here. You know what I'm saying? Adding it to my lemon pepper green beans. Yeah, I didn't show me seasoning the green beans, but please believe I got a lot of seasoning in that. You know what I'm saying? They already kind of come with season, but I like to taste it, make sure I don't overdo it. But that's just sitting on the side. I didn't even really show that because it's easy to make some green beans out of a can, just adding meat. Now going back to the steaks, remember what I told y'all? They going in the oven. So I had it sitting in the oven for a minute, but that ain't as tender as I wanted. So I'm gonna put it back in. It's a little there. It's almost there, but you gotta remember I got 6 big steaks sitting in there, and you see them sexy potatoes. And I got the bacon in the oven. That's the gravy. That's how the gravy look. The after effect of the gravy. I'm gonna put the gravy on after I let the meat go back in the oven because it ain't tender to where I want it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna put it back in here a little while. You can put chicken broth. I use, instead of water, I use a lot of chicken broth or beef broth when I'm putting like a little extra sauce, so when you baking it, it won't burn up your meat. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta try something new. What works for you is what you gotta try. This your boy, Fat Boy Mega Bucks. There go that gravy, baby. Y'all see how sexy that gravy is. I had that thing sitting in the cut, and I still gonna let it sit a little longer just to get that. I need that meat super tender. And now, you know what I'm saying? Everything's by the eye, man, and the smell. Once you've been doing this a while, then you get it. You know what I'm saying? I know you're saying that's a lot of onions, but I love that flavor of onions. They go that bacon I was talking about. Yeah, that's for the potatoes right there. Brown sugar glaze. Yep, y'all see that sexy steak again? See, I come out of the oven, that thing tender. Well, I'm telling you. Ooh-wee, it's going down. Fat Boy Bucks, look at that thing with the bacon on top. Sunday dinner, October 5th, 2025. They go to lemon pepper green beans. Holla at your boy. Ha ha.